Alright, hi guys. Thanks for joining me this week. And today we're going to make Southern chili cornbread casserole. It's really delicious. It has a great hearty, flavorful chili topped with a delicious Southern cornbread, and it's so good. You'll definitely want to try this recipe. So, hi Murray. Okay, let's see here. Make sure I can see my comments today. There we go. And so some of y'all want to see chili, so this is a delicious take on chili. We love eating our chili when we just make regular chili with cornbread, and so this topped with the chili and cheese, or topped with the cornbread and cheese, it's really, really delicious. So you should definitely try it. Hi Lisa. Good people, a few minutes to get on before I get started. I hope you all are having a good day. It's really pretty out. It's warm out today here. So, hope you're enjoying the sunshine. And we'll wait just a couple minutes for somebody to get on. What are we cooking? Well, we're making Southern cornbread chili casserole. So, it's a really great, hearty, flavorful chili with a Southern cornbread on the top. It's really, really good. So, you should try it. It's got corn in there, it's got beans, it's got cheese, so it's really delicious. Hi Connor. No bologna, Lisa. Still not yet. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So over here, I have actually I didn't need to come over here. Hi Michaela. Okay. I went ahead and started my ground turkey. Let's see if you can see that. Hang on. Somebody move my camera here. Okay, so went ahead and started my ground turkey. I'm using ground turkey here. I like to use either ground turkey or grass-fed ground beef, but you can use whatever you want to use here. Whatever ground beef you like, or ground meat. And I'm just getting it going with salt and pepper. I have a little bit of water in the bottom of mine because it's a turkey burger. And I don't want it to stick, but if you're doing ground beef, you don't need to do this step. So you just want to let this brown. So now we're going to go over here and work on our next steps. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to need about a small onion or a half of a large onion. And I'm just going to mince that up. Or dice that up, I'm sorry, I was thinking of my garlic. So if you do your onion, cut your onion in half with the root intact and just make small cuts, but not all the way through the root. Then you can turn it sideways and dice it. Makes it really easy. Hi Dawn, hope you're having a great day too. And if you don't like onion, it adds a really good flavor to it, but if you don't like it, you could add some onion powder instead. But fresh onion is really good in here. So I'm going to dice that up. Get that going. And you could add a little more or less, depending on what you like. And you can totally do like finer chopped onions, which is what I like to do, or you can do larger chunks. Okay, so get those, we like them fairly small, so I'm going to get those small. Thanks for sharing, Dawn. Yes, if you would please share this video so other people can see it, that will be great. You love chili, Marie. We do too, and we love chili with cornbread, so this chili cornbread casserole is perfect. All right. So I got that minced or diced up. Now my pot. I'm gonna add a little bit of avocado oil to the bottom, and know where my food paper is, so put that in there, and we're just gonna let these cook until they get soft. Just until they soften. You want to saute them. So we'll work on the cornbread batter while I get those going. But just those over about medium high heat. A little bit of oil and let them get all nice and soft. Now, I would also, once those get soft, normally once they get almost done, they've softened, I would mince up some fresh garlic, throw that in and cook it for another couple of minutes. But I'm actually out of fresh garlic today. It's really odd because we never run out of fresh garlic. But don't have any, so I'm going to use a little bit of garlic powder, which is fine. It still tastes good, but I do prefer fresh garlic. So you can do whatever you want. Now we're going to make the cornbread batter for the top. So I'm going to grab a bowl. You just, really easy. You just need a bowl and a whisk. You don't need a mixer or anything like that. So you need a 1.5 cups, of cornmeal. And 1.5 cups of flour, all-purpose, as well as 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and a couple teaspoons, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. Now we're going to whisk our dry ingredients together, and if you want, you can use self-rising flour. Just leave out the salt and baking powder because you don't need it. Alright, so you got that mixed together, and we're going to grab my wooden spoon, and I'm going to make a well. So I'm just going to make a little well here. And then I'm going to fill that with my buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you can use the same amount of regular milk and add a little bit of lemon juice or vinegar and let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then it'll turn into buttermilk. It's a really great trick if you don't have any. Buttermilk really makes this cornbread, so don't skip it. If you don't have any, make your own. And then, for the rest of the liquid, I did not get my water. We're going to add water. I'll be right back. So we're going to add the water and start mixing. This is the way Mom and Nana always have made our cornbread for years, and it's delicious. I love it. It's my favorite cornbread. So add a little more until your batter, you want your batter to be pretty wet, so you need to grab a little more water here. I don't usually measure this. So keep mixing that until our batter is wet. Sure you get all that flour and cornmeal incorporated. You don't want to see any dry ingredients left. Here are my onions going over here. Don't want them to burn, so keep stirring them. Just want them to soften and get kind of translucent. And remember, if you're using fresh garlic, don't add it until the onions have already softened, because you don't want your garlic to burn. Burned garlic isn't so tasty, and it will burn much quicker than your onions. If you add it in at the same time, it'll burn before your onions are soft. You made homemade cornbread yesterday, look. Yummy. Okay, so that's about the consistency you're looking for in your batter. So I'm going to set that aside now. And let's check on, let's go back over here to the stove. And check on our onions are getting there. They're smelling really nice and fragrant. So they're getting there. This can take a few minutes. So just be patient and let them get soft. You don't want them to be hard and not cooked in your chili. And if you wanted to and you have a favorite chili recipe, you could totally make your favorite chili recipe and top it with this cornbread and bake it. It'll work. This is just a chili recipe that we like. And I'm going to work on my ground turkey over here so that it gets broken up and isn't in huge clumps. And we're just going to, you don't have to do this in separate kettles. For the sake of time today, I have my ground beef or ground turkey over here, but if you don't have to do that. You can just saute your onions, get them nice and soft, and then once you're done with that, you can put in your ground meat and then brown it. You have neck bones cooked with potatoes and cornbread. Ooh, that sounds good too, Murray. So you can make this in one pot very easily, but I just wanted to save on time today, so I went ahead and did it in two. And if you're not using a lean ground beef, drain your grease off of your fat off of your meat before you put it in the pot. And if you put water in there because you're using ground turkey, if you have too much water in there, when it's done cooking, you need to pour a little bit out too, because you don't want it to be super liquidy. So I'm just going to keep working with this because I don't want it to be in too big of clumps. Keep working big and small. It's almost done. And our onions are getting there. I'm going to add just a little bit more oil. Those are looking good. Awesome. Okay. Get in there. We're almost ready to start building the chili. And you want to have your oven preheated to 400 degrees. You really want to bake cornbread at a high temperature, so turn that oven up and have it preheating. And that's looking good. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. There we go. I think our meat is almost ready. Looking good. And then for the other parts of the chili, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for that. You're going to need tomato juice. So just some tomato juice. I like to use home canned when I have it. And you're going to need some beans. You can use cans of beans. I like to pressure cook my own in the Instant Pot. They're really good. But you can do whatever you want to. Whatever you do, be sure you drain the juice off, because with the juice in, this recipe will be too liquidy. So drain off of the juice. So I'll go ahead and add my meat over to this pot, and I turn my heat down. Ooh, sorry, that's really loud. Go ahead and transfer the meat. Looking good. Looks so yummy. It smells great in here. Really fragrant. Alright, put that back. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, because I didn't have any fresh garlic, but I much prefer fresh garlic here. So if you have fresh garlic, use it. Get that going there. And now, it's been good, I'm going to add my juice. Hi Connor. Looks good, right? Thank you. It is delicious. You should try it sometime. Alright. Now we're going to add our beans. You're going to need about 6 cups of cooked beans. I like to cook mine in the Instant Pot. Black beans, you can cook about a pound for about 25 minutes on pressure cook, and same thing for red beans. This is what I'm using here, black beans and red beans. You can also use pinto beans, and you can also cook those really easily in the Instant Pot. The same way, with the same amount of water and beans, just cook them for a little longer. about 35 minutes. So whatever you can use canned, but drain off the juice because you don't want this to be too liquidy. So add those in there. Oh yes, this is looking so good. And now we're gonna add our spices. So let me grab them here. We're gonna need some paprika and some chili powder. Let's see. What did I do with my... Okay. You're gonna need about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half, depending on if you like your chili a little more smoky and spicy, of chili powder. I'm gonna go with about a tablespoon and a half because we like it pretty flavorful. There. And then you're gonna add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of paprika. Whatever kind of paprika you have. Smoked paprika is really good, Spanish paprika, but whatever you have will work just fine. Alright. Alright, stir that in. And you want to be sure and season, at every step, at every layer of your chili. So with my meat, I seasoned it with salt and pepper, and I'm also going to season this with salt and pepper. So you want to, that's the key to getting it nice and flavorful. To add salt every step of the way. So now I'm going to add my salt and pepper. And my pepper here. And stir that in. And just do your salt and pepper to taste. Don't go overboard in the beginning because you can't take out the salt. But salt it and then taste it. If it needs a little bit more, add a little bit more. So we'll get that going here. And we're going to let this simmer for a few minutes. Ideally, you want to let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. The flavors developed and everything nice and really ready to put in the oven. But I'm not going to let it cook quite so long today. But about 20 minutes is how long you want to simmer it. Just simmer it on like low, medium heat. So nothing too high. You can cover it too if you want. So that's looking awesome. If you have any suggestions, please let me know what you want to see for future episodes. I would love to hear them. And please share this video so others can see it. And head on over to the blog. You can go over to the blog and get the full recipe with all the written instructions and the measurements on the blog, supperAtTheFamilyTable.com, for this recipe and so many other recipes. So go check that out. Alright, let's go over here and grate our cheese. I'm going to top it with cheese. Or we're going to do a cheese layer. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to add our corn. So there is corn in this chili and it's really good. I love adding corn to it, but you could leave it out. So why can't I make, okay, I'll have to make something with bologna for you one day soon, Lisa. I will do that. Okay, so you're going to add corn. I have fresh, our garden corn that we put in the freezer, so I cut off about 4 ears of that and put it in here. It's about 1 cup, so you can use canned, you can use frozen, whatever you want to use here. I'm just going to stir that in. Adds a nice little bit of sweetness to the chili. It's a really great addition. Really great. So stir that up. Now I'm going to let it simmer for a minute. We're going to go over here. And I'm going to get our cheese ready because we're going to top this with a layer of cheese. It's really delicious. So you have your chili layer, your flavorful, delicious, hearty chili layer, and you've got this layer of melty cheese and topped with this great southern cornbread recipe. It's really good. So cheese, I'm going to use cheddar cheese, but you can use, I mean, you could switch it up. You could do white cheddar, you could do Gruyere, it's really nice and melty, but whatever you have, but I'm going to do a cheddar cheese. And I'm just going to grate that up. You're going to need about 1/3 of a cup or so. that. So I like to grind my own because, one, it melts a lot better because it doesn't have the caking agents. So it melts a lot better, and I just don't prefer to eat the caking agents, but you can do whatever you want. So, but this makes it nice and melty. Get that going. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to grate a little bit more, too, because we're going to top it with some cheese after that. So I'm going to need a little extra for topping. And, you know, we're going to top this with some Greek yogurt, with some cheese, with some parsley, but you can top it with, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can top it with sour cream. You can top it with another kind of cheese. You can top it with some onions if you wanted to. So really you can do whatever you want. So there we go. Got my cheese grated. Put that back in there. So just keep it in a great container. It keeps it fresh. Okay, so we got that ready. And let's go back over here and check on our chili. It's looking good. Simmering. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it just to see if it needs any more salt. You don't want to put it in the oven and then it needs more salt. Super hot, but delicious. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit more salt. But other than that, the flavors are really good. Okay. And we're going to give that a stir. Let's see. That going. Alright, let's get that going. That looks amazing. Thank you, Murray. It really is. It's delicious. You should definitely try it. It's really good. If you love chili and if you love cornbread, you're definitely going to love this recipe. Alright. That is looking good. We're almost ready to go ahead and build our casserole. Okay, so we'll just keep letting this simmer for just a little bit. Alright. And I'm going to put this in like a 9x13 casserole dish. So that's the perfect size and it works really well. So it'll also be delicious in cast iron, but you might have to like split it because the cast iron skillet isn't really big enough and you don't want it to run over. So keep that in mind if you use something else. And don't go any smaller or you'll have to separate it. So, this is looking good. I hope you all have had a good week. I don't know what it's been like at your house, but it's been a little crazy here. Our dryer tore up, so everything from the laundry room is the kitchen. The kitchen didn't even look like a kitchen for a while. Still doesn't completely, so it's been a little crazy here, but it's been good, so. Alright. Looking really good. So you want to let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. If you let it simmer for a little while, the flavors get nice and melded and stuff. So it's really great. I'm going to pull it just a little bit early because I know you don't want to sit here and watch chili simmer for 20 minutes. Well, okay, I'm actually going to put it in a pie pan today. Oh yeah, actually I'm going to leave it in this skillet here. So I would normally put this in, a 9x13, but today I'm just going to put it right on top of my Dutch oven. So I'm cooking this in my big Dutch oven, so it's oven safe, and I can just throw it in the oven. So I'm going to take my batter, pour that evenly over the top. Spread it out. You want a nice, pretty thick layer on there. And then I'm going to put it in the oven to bake for about 25 to 35 minutes, or basically until your cornbread is done. So everything else is already done. You just want your cornbread to be like nice and golden brown on top and cooked all the way through. So I have one already ready because that one's going to take a while to bake. So let's go over here. Oh, I forgot to put my cheese on there. But you would layer your cheese, and then you would put your cornbread on top and bake it, and it's delicious. This one I have over here has the cheese layer. So do that. Don't skip the cheese step because it's really good. And I'm going to grab a plate, a bowl, and I'm going to get a spoon. Get some of this out here. It's looking so good. I can't wait to eat it. It's delicious. All right, look at that. Got your nice chili on here. This one I baked in a smaller pan. I don't usually bake it in a smaller pan, so it's got a little bit more cornbread on top than would be ideal. And if you forget to do the cheese step like I did, you can just put it on top of the cornbread. That'll work too. Now I'm going to top it with a little bit of Greek yogurt. Or sour cream. A little bit of cheese. You're not a cheese person, so you like it without cheese, and that's fine. It'll be good with cheese. If you don't like cheese, don't add the cheese. That's fine. And I'm going to grab a little bit of some fresh parsley here. Just rip off a handful. And you'll cook it even though it doesn't have bologna. Okay, I'll be sure to do something with bologna, Lisa, but you could totally eat it with a bologna sandwich if you wanted to. So, alright. Add a little bit of nice fresh herbs on there, and I can't wait to dig into this and try it. That nice, look at that, cornbread, beans, and meat. So good. The chili's really flavorful. The cheese adds a nice bit of saltiness, the yogurt creaminess, delicious cornbread on top. So this is really delicious. I really hope you try it. Hope you share the video. Go get the recipe. It's on the blog. And hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this dish with your family at the supper table. Have a blessed day.